damn. So there's like so much fundamentally wrong with the game that results in bans. Like just because there's no trophy systems, it like the Gammon Bomb is just so overpowered right now just because you can throw it, put someone down to 50% and then just charge, right? And the Gammon Bomb with the stun that does 20 damage, it basically kills you. So it's like it's really tough. So like I understand why that has to go. Um in reality, like I keep trying to like figure out like solutions to all this. Like I keep thinking maybe if we did no grenade hit markers, that would help with some of it because then you wouldn't be able to throw a Gammon Bomb, get a hit marker, throw a stun, and just start running. Right?
Oh yeah.
It would actually take some skill to because it's like a free UAV if you think about it. You just throw it into like a little corner, like into a house, and if you get a hit marker, you know someone's there, right? So that's why Halo takes it out. But like there's other stuff like smoke grenades. Like right now the spawns are so messed up that there's like SMGs are dying like 40, 50 times a game, right? Now think about if you had a smoke grenade. Even if you limit it to one person per team, that's 50 smoke grenades going off in a respawn. That's 50 smoke grenades per team going off, even if you just limit it to one person per team. Because the spawns are so close to the hills and there's so many engagements, smokes would just you would spawn up, toss your smoke grenade, run in, die. Toss up or spawn in, toss a smoke grenade, die. It would just be a constant cycle of just chaos that would take a lot of the skill out of the game. And again, it just goes down the game design, and that's what's really hurting the scene right now. Is just the game's in such a poor state currently. Like that doesn't mean it's not going to be fixed. Every single season we've had a spawn update. It's happened in Black Ops 4. Like Seaside used to be awful, and then it got tuned and it turned in great. It was great after that. In MW we had a patch that like limited some of the squad spawns. Like it was more predictable where you were spawning. In like December. Last year we had spawn like tunings as well. So that's how like people started developing like parallel spawns. Like we were able to read it through that. So honestly, I'm just hoping we get a good spawn tuning so it fixes a lot of the respawn mistakes. And then once the spawn tuning comes out and there's less engagements per map, then you can bring in a smoke grenade that will help out for SMGs. So I guess we just have to wait until tunings start happening, which kind of sucks.
What would you prefer, Austin? Would you prefer the game was less complete, but it had ranked play, skins, competitive rule set, all that, or how it is right now?
I mean, this is less complete, so I don't really.
No,
This
but it
is
would
less
probably be
complete just
even
without
less.
everything else.
Wouldn't it be
I,
even less complete if they had focused even more on other areas?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is it possible?
I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot. It's just like the map design is like it's good at points, and then it's really bad, and then like I don't know. I don't know what goes into developing a game at all. So I don't know if they put like because like is there anything that's done exceptionally well in the game? Like I feel like the gunplay is. I feel like the
Movement's pretty
movement's
good.
pretty clean.
Mm.
So I don't like. I just feel like if this game isn't in a much better place by January, um, we might be in a little bit of trouble. I feel like it needs a spawn update. It needs weapon tunings. Um, in
Yeah.
the kill cams right now, you can't even see the attachments on guns. So people are using. You have to ban out guns like the Type 100. The bar is banned because we can't even see with attachments. You can't restrict attachments. You can't restrict guns in the private lobbies. You can't. I don't know. There's just a lot that needs to be tuned and fixed, and S&D glitches, and I don't know. They just have to start getting on top of these to really improve quality of life within the game. I guess I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Did you touch on the fact that you can now run any class, but you can't once you kill someone, they can't see the class you have? So you can be running unrestricted parts on your
Yeah,
gun?
there's no. It doesn't show you the attachments in the kill cam, so
Yeah,
you can't. You don't know.
which is
That's why
mad.
they're restricting complete guns like the Type 100. Like right now, the STG, the Type 100, the bar. I think even the MP40 can two shot people with certain attachments. It's like, oh Jesus. Um,
Who
but
comes up
yeah,
with this stuff, honestly?
yeah. So that's why when like you see like scrims going on right now, take it with a super grain of salt because
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's. I really don't believe that this is going to be the final look of the game. But I also don't want to fall into the trap that we had in Modern Warfare, where
Mm.
people just kept saying the super update is coming, it's coming, and then it never really came.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm just trying to stay as optimistic as possible that the game will be completely different in 2 months. So yeah,
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. This might like. Is this the worst launch state of any COD we've ever played? Because it might be. Like,
IW
I
was
want.
pretty ass, bro.
I doubly. That's actually not a bad shout. I mean, I was thinking Modern Warfare, like pre-spawn update with the maps and like the 27 hard points on Grosvenor Raid, but I mean, they obviously
yeah, that
took that
wasn't
one
great.
out. That wasn't great either, to be fair. But this game is. I ran around on Decoy earlier, Austin, right? Because we were prepping for that thing. And I could not believe my eyes, the amount of breakable shit on this map. I actually was in shock. Everywhere I went, there was something that I could punch with my gun, and it would create me a little head glitch. And then if I wanted to get through it, I had to punch it again, like 50 more times. And when you get rid of all of them, the map is just so open. It's like what? Like, maybe put a couple of things that are breakable, but why does the whole map have to be breakable? And this is what people were saying, or at least what people were discussing. Is that like, okay, let's say London Docks comes back. Let's say Samurai Dumont comes back. Let's say they bring back some of these good World War II maps. Like, how are they going to ruin them, right? It's going to be ruined. They're going to put bloody breakable walls everywhere. You're going to have doors. It's like, come on, man. Can't I just get a normal map? Why don't they just look at why do we have to be Rainbow Siege? Why can't they just look at a good FPS like Counter Strike and say, okay, we're just going to have a solid map and it is what it is? I know what they're thinking, but the problem is the breakable walls. That's the thing that really annoys me. Obviously, there's squad spawns, there's Bloom that like illey was gunning someone across the map. There's also like bullet drop, right? You got to think about the fact that it's not a hit scan. So if you're gunning someone long range with an SMG, you've got to lead your shots effectively, which is like, I don't think we should really ever have to be thinking about that in a regular multiplayer game. I don't know, maybe that's up for debate, but that's my perspective at least. I don't think that's necessary. Well, certainly not necessary. So, it's there for the sake of it, I guess. Just all these problems compounds. Like the breakables to me is the most obvious one, but if anything, it's probably not the most frustrating for the pro player side, especially on certain maps. You can probably get away with it, but it's like maps like Eagle's Nest. It feels like such a good competitive map to play, like at least looking at it and the way it's designed. But just the way the breakables are and like stuff like this just means that, like, I imagine it just plays pretty terribly for hardpoint and stuff because everything's just, I don't know, maybe it's too chaotic. I don't know. It's just and the spawns obviously don't help. So it's just a load
Yeah,
of things right now. It's like this might be the worst COD at launch for competitive. Like it could be good, the potential's there, but it's like the amount of issues is probably more than we've ever had, frankly.
yeah. I just they're falling into this trap of like putting out like an incomplete game and then like updating it as the season goes along. We've seen that a couple times now, and it feels like they're just trying to be so creative and like come out with new products instead of just developing what you already have. Just develop that to perfection instead of trying to be so cool in so many different ways. I feel like that's a trap that most businesses like fall into is like you gotta be creative to drag in new people, but you're also just letting your core product just dwindle. So I do hope like even with like the breakable stuff on the map, uh it's so hard because you really can't turn it off. If you turn it off, there's this 97 places. It's like
Yeah,
Grazna Raid where you
yeah,
just get shot
yeah.
from so many different places. So like the map design is really made for these breakable things. So it's like we can't even really disable that because I don't even think that will fix. And the thing is you can't really disable it on some maps and not disable it on others
Mm,
because it's like so it's just it's really tough on that front. And then you have the bullet drop, which I don't like. 10 attachments because of Warzone. The bloom, actually, I don't mind if they limit the bloom. Like I noticed that some guns have like a really tight bloom, like
mm,
automaton has a tight bloom, whereas a different AR has a really wide bloom. Like ARs shouldn't have bloom. SMG should all have the same bloom. It should be a little bit tighter than what it is, just so like we don't have like the MP5 from Modern Warfare. I feel like that's a decent way to, but they in reality what they should be doing is damage ranges. Like tweak it so the damage ranges aren't crazy. But yeah, you have attachments that increase damage ranges now, so you can the damage range can just be 1,000,000. Damage is now upgradable for some reason, and on almost every gun on multiple attachments. Fire rate, you just have rapid fire on multiple. Remember the good old days of like Black Ops 2 where you actually had the attachment rapid fire? Now like 5 different attachments can increase the fire rate. So it's just really tough.